I look like shit too.
Whatever.
You look worse because of your hair. At least. You know,
Well, I'm thinking about letting it grow out.
it's like you're like the Chris Farley of it. And then there's me. I'm like the
jerk the wheel, goddamn bridging punt, man. Hi. God, I love Tommy Boy.
well.
I'm gonna do it like
yeah.
this now. Fuck it. I'm gonna rock the Farley. Rock the Farley.
Rock the Farley.
Rock the
All right,
Farley,
let's get
baby.
the show on the road. Hey, what's up, everybody? John Hansen here, bringing another episode of TKO FANBOYS, and with me, as always, is
Chris Wellesley, and we're live.
yeah, we are live for the past 41 seconds, now 42. But anyways, we got a lot of ground to cover. A lot of news, Transformer-wise,
Yes.
Marvel-wise.
Yes.
So much fucking shit. I don't know about life-wise. We don't really talk about life.
No, we're not here to talk about
Yeah.
that. This is our break from
Reality. Jinx, you know me, Mountain Dew. All right, so
Not this one, because it's the Baja Blast, and they brought it back.
I know they did. About freaking time they brought it
I know,
back.
I love
Holy
it.
Shit. So it's been a while since we did this. So we are,
Yeah, we were gonna do this last week, but you had a cold, and the winter we had was absolutely just brutal. I think that's one of the reasons why I had to get my car fixed, because it was just fucking brutal.
It was brutal.
Freezing cold.
So yeah.
It's warming up now, so we can move on.
God.
Yeah, right.
About time it's starting to warm up instead of this.
Mhm.
Okay, all right. So I noticed you want to talk a lot about this certain Transformers game, which I
Yes.
played once before on my PC, and that is the Transformers Universe game, which was back in 2012.
First unveiled at BotCon 2011. Closed beta testing began a year after in 2012. This was a game where it was like any online role-playing game. You go online, you play your favorite character, whatever. You know, you can play an Autobot, you can play a Decepticon, and you can be different characters here. There's a whole list right here. I'll just click on this one. So there's characters, new Autobots they created just for the game years ago when this first came out, like Catapult, Frontline, Meltdown, Anomaly, Shell Shock, Conduit, Duststorm, Flatline, all these different Autobots and Decepticons you could play. And I've seen gameplay on YouTube, and I think this would have been really done. I think this could have done a lot better if it had been on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, and PC.
Like it seems something the Xbox or PS4 would actually have, because
yeah,
playing the game on computer stuff. There, you're talking about a complete world engine and stuff like that, and you're playing it on the internet. When if you have but you look at a computer's graphics card, and sometimes it can't pump out those graphics that it's supposed to. That's why when I played it, it was always lagging so terribly bad.
This game was. I never played it because I'm not really into playing PC games that much. Just more Xbox or N64 games in my case. But this game, I will admit, looked really dope as fuck. And I just think if they had made it for online play in the Xbox 360.
I hope that. Okay, we're back. All right.
Oh shit!
It says you're live. I hope it means that it didn't get that entire conversation.
But did it stop and then
I think it did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I fucking hope so. But
we could just review it. But anyways,
yeah.
So I think this game would have been a lot better on an Xbox and PlayStation for online play that way. But it says here it was announced on December 16th, 2014, that the game would begin a phase close immediately, fully closing on January 31st, 2015, without ever having left the beta testing. So the whole time it started up and ended, it was just a beta test, meaning the lagging thing they probably would have gone back in and fixed. Yeah. But I think the problem here was just the lagging, maybe a few other issues that we don't know about that were also being put into play here. And also maybe there just wasn't enough people playing it, because the company that made this game were the same people that also did, I believe, RuneScape and a handful of other online gameplays. My girlfriend plays RuneScape all the fucking time. So, I like it, and I've seen, and this is the other thing it's gonna lead us right into our own custom spotlight, is, I just gotta pull it up here. Some people like the game so much
That they made their own variations of the characters.
they have, and I just gotta pull one of them up that I found a few days ago. If I can find it, because I just saw it the other day. Come on, here it is. So one guy here on TFW
2005
took a. We'll put the link here in the description. He took a Generations wheelie and repainted it to look like one of the Autobots from the game.
He's missing primer. I can see a lot of unpainted surfaces in there.
And
The car one was actually pretty good though.
Yeah, that's one of the molds I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I want to try and make this one, but yeah, because that should be covered up with primer or paint or something, shouldn't it? Right there at the
definitely primer.
side of the thigh or shin. But I mean, overall that looks good though.
Yeah.
You know, it's on the right track. So this guy did Mark Macron, whatever this name is, did Macron, and then Overclock,
which looks like a Combiner Wars mold.
Combiner Wars G2 Break-A-Neck, which I gotta say that also looked pretty good.
Looks alright. It's not too bad.
The right idea, and maybe this person too is also trying customizing for the first time, and this person's still learning, which is understandable. But the color scheme is right though.
I like that look though. It's pretty nice.
If I remember correctly, I believe this character has a British accent because it's supposed to be like a Aston Martin type of car. So,
the guy could have definitely reworked and repainted the wheelie head. And speaking of customs,
but they're on the right track. And
do you want to show the audience your
yeah, why not?
Your project you've been working on, and
I'll get it. So I have been trying my own hand at customizing. This isn't done yet because I got to do a few more things with it. But I just took a Transformers Prime Viacon, primed it, and repainted it. So there's a few things throughout here. I got to go back in with more paint, clean it up a bit and whatnot. But once I get that fixed, it should be okay. I think I did pretty good for a first timer. Still learning it myself, but I chose a Viacon because I love the design, and yeah, it's really good, I think. And I didn't realize it, but the color scheme, I swear I did not plan this out. I just chose, blue and a couple of different shades of green, but coincidentally enough, the color scheme is the same as the Decepticons Spring Load from Robots in Disguise. So that was totally coincidental. I need to go back in, do some touch-ups, fix a couple of things here and there, put it in car mode, look at it, inspect it, and then let the paint dry for 24 hours, and if that's done, then it should be good to go. So I'm trying this out for the first time. So this is Autobot Spring Load, custom made. So yeah, I'm trying it out for a change. But what have you been trying?
Well, for one, I've been working on a lot of customs lately. For one, I've been working on a custom repaint of a certain Autobot leader, which is nearing completion. I would have brought it with me, but I was like, change it up a bit, bring something else other than a Transformer.
Kind of take a break from it, but it looks good though.
But this is just my custom Iron Legion SHKO arch, because it is sadly a knockoff, a okay one, I guess.
It looks good though. I like it.
I had to rework a lot of joints, new joint system. I had to remove some parts, but overall, and probably I just got to do same with your guy. I got to do some touch ups on it myself, but yeah, it's a good figure. I like how it turned out. Still needs a little work, and it actually looks pretty good with my figure arts collection too. And it being a robot, if it falls apart, I really don't care because there were pretty weak robots in Age of Ultron anyway. So
Yeah, but so all that led into our talking about the Transformers Universe game and led right into our custom spotlights. So that's what we have. On a scale of one, our next thing on a scale of 1 to 10, for anyone that's watching this, and I'm gonna ask you this: scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you going to get the Ghostbusters Ectotron figure? I want to get it as soon as it comes out.
I know you want to get it. Like
Yeah.
Takara looks really cool and stuff, like really good.
Because I didn't realize it was the 35th anniversary of Ghostbusters.
But it's just like been too spoiled by third party and masterpiece figure. It's just been and the chug stuff has gotten a little less interest. I guess I can say my Superion is a chug in a way because it is based off of this Combiner War Superion.
Yeah.
Even though it is a oversized KO, which a very good oversized KO. Like if I would have brought that with me, it would put. I just got an idea for the next episode.
What?
Compared to combiners.
Oh yeah, we can do that next episode.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Yeah. We'll just compare them. Do another comparison.
Like how we did with MS Square and MP10 and whether MPs you want to get, but
I definitely want to get the Ghostbusters Ectotron figure, including the comic books that come with it. But I'm gonna wait and do that in July. Cause now I got a raise at work, so I'm making $15.30 an hour.
Nice.
Like everyone in the world in America should be in order to make a living. But
true.
No, I'm definitely gonna get that Ectotron figure. It looks great. And this is the 35th anniversary of both Transformers and Ghostbusters. So I don't know. I've seen the Ghostbuster movies plenty of times. I might also get.
I heard they're gonna make a third one too here pretty soon.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Because I want to get the Ectotron figure, and I want to get the Ghostbusters video game that came out for the Xbox years ago, and then I want to try and maybe watch some of the real Ghostbusters back in the 80s. That was a good show.
The cartoon?
Mm-hmm. Oh, my computer is acting up again. It keeps telling me there's no USB device when there is, but... So, I'm going to get it for sure. Are you going to get it?
The Ecto...
Yeah.
For one, I like Ghostbusters. They're pretty cool and stuff, but... Maybe, I don't know. I guess it just all depends on reviews of the figure. Mm. I think that's part of it, especially if I ever do bite a bullet and get any other masterpiece figures, including MP44, which I don't think I'm gonna get anyway. But I'd rather watch a review on something first before I actually say.
That is a good point, though.
Like before I got that the Ultra Magnus that's coming in. I watched reviews on that, and I'm like, okay, all right, I'll go for it, and which I did, and yeah.
Yeah. Cause I'm definitely gonna get it, and yes, they are going to make a third Ghostbusters movie. Here, and we'll talk about this, even though it wasn't on the list. Here's what's been the problem with a third Ghostbusters movie. I think they were hesitant to do a third one because the second one, it did okay, but it wasn't as exciting, or maybe wasn't as good as the first one, but it was still good enough that people were okay with it. Mm-hmm. So I think that was the other reason too, but The second reason was the director Ivan Reitman, who directed it. He was told he had to cut out a bunch of scenes from Ghostbusters 2, and he thinks that if he had left those scenes in, it would have made the movie more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Just as good or maybe better, depending. But after that, Ghostbusters was kind of starting to fade away, and the TV show for kids
Right.
was also going away. Danny Aykroyd did think of a story for a third Ghostbusters movie back in the mid-90s.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, Chris Farley was going to be in it. He was supposed to play like the new guy, but he was also like a comic relief type of guy too.
Well, obviously, all of them were comic reliefs anyway, because it was a comedy movie.
It was a blend of comedy too.
Yeah.
It was a good storytelling. But Chris Farley was going to be in it, and the scripts had them all like they. It read almost like Stranger Things, where they're going into this alternative version of everything and everyone, but it's hell. So like they're going to a hellish version of Manhattan, but there's like ghosts, demons, spirits, and all. And one of the details of the script said that all the police officers in this hellish version are minotaurs, the half man, half horse bull type of creature from Greek mythology, and things like that. And everything is in a really weird color scheme. Like when you take a photograph, it's in normal colors, but when you reverse the colors, everything's all wacky looking.
Right.
It was supposed to be like that. Well, they were gonna do it, but then Chris Farley died. They decided not to, and at the same time, everyone else was busy with their own thing, so they were like, screw it. But I think they took elements from that script and they put it in a new story for the Ghostbusters video game for Xbox 360 that came out back in 2010, I think.
I think so.
That was a good game. I gotta get that game again. So, because you could look at that game and think of it as a movie of sorts.
Right, yeah.
And then that game did well, and I know the Ghostbusters movie that came out a few years ago with a whole female cast. I think it's one of those movies where you thought it was okay, or you just absolutely hate it.
True.
But yes, Ivan Reitman's son is going to make a official third sequel to the original first two Ghostbusters movies.
I just wonder how they're gonna do it, because there's a lot of.
I read online they're going to have a new group of people, younger people, and they're trying to figure out if they can get Bill Murray to come on and Ernie Hudson and anyone else that was in the movie to come back for this.
Right.
And it wouldn't surprise me if it was like the older generation teaching the new generation or passing the torch, like they did with the Star Wars movies.
That's how it should have been done for the remake, I guess, or reboot, whatever the hell you want to call it. Like,
yeah,
they could have had some female characters in it, but like, okay, I'm fine with an all female cast, but they could have done it a little. Took it in a different direction where they had the original cast and Harold Ramis when he was still around to pass the torch to this new generation.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, there's a lot of goofiness and sometimes a little bit of utter nonsense, and I honestly thought especially with Chris Hemsworth, who played the receptionist, like you
would think they would have had him as one of the Ghostbusters,
right?
Or had him and a couple other new guys be the Ghostbusters.
Right.
And
it seems like something that, like,
I don't think the casting was good.
Like, if they would have picked, like, say they wanted to, if they were going to try to reboot it, they could have picked like a slew of better characters. They could have had, for example, they could have had Scarlett Johansson play the receptionist. I don't know. They could have had Chris Pratt be Bill Murray's character.
That's what they should have done.
And then they could have had.
That's what they should have done. They should have had Chris Pratt, a Ghostbuster, Chris Hemsworth play a Ghostbuster.
And then
they could have had, I don't know, Ian McGregor play one of them. That would have been kind of cool.
Oh, okay, Ian McGregor. Okay, I know who that is.
That would have been really cool.
Or Anthony Mackie, who played Falcon.
Yeah.
You know, they could have.
That would have been perfect.
And then they could have had I don't know who could be like the love interest for Bill Murray's character. Like they would have. There's a whole lot of better actors and actresses that could have brought a little more of a comedy and more grasping thing. And even if they were trying to pass the torch, like I always thought the idea that all the Ghostbusters eventually had kids. They could have had
their kids go off and do it.
Like they could have had Oscar from Ghostbusters 2 be the a stepson to Bill Murray's character, and then say, you know, like at his dying breath, it's like, son, you're a Ghostbuster now. You know, then he becomes the ghost.
Man. Okay, well, I gotta say with that remake, that was just really dumb and ironic that they had Bill Murray come in and play that one dude that I think is investigating all the chicks. And it's like, did you want to do this, or were you just doing this as a cash grab, or I just think it was kind of dumb. It's like, dude, why are you even bothering with this? You can do better. Come on, Bill. But I mean, it's nothing against women. It's nothing against women. It's just maybe it just wasn't the right combination of things. I know the one black chick, she took it super personal that they're now making a remake of Ghosts, or not really a remake, but an actual sequel to the original Ghostbuster movies. And she took it real personal because of that. And I think she feels like she's not good enough.
Like, it's not that they're good enough. It was just, I think part of it was the writing. And then the casting, some of the casting, like, okay, Melissa McCarthy, she's funny.
She is. It's nothing against her. She's really funny.
Then the African American chick, she's pretty funny too. I've seen her in some SNL skits and stuff like that.
She's good too.
I think it's just the other two that they were just kind of there.
Well, the one chick, I don't remember her name, but she's the one that got kind of glasses on.
The blonde.
Yeah, I think she's pretty good looking. Like, what's up? I'll admit she's pretty good looking. Yeah. But I thought that this was I originally thought that this was a direct sequel to the other two movies, and that these were a whole new group of people that stumbled upon like this old equipment and be like, what is this? And then they realize, oh my god, it's all real. Mm-hmm. They were telling the truth the whole time. This shit is real. And then they have to learn how to use it and kind of learn on their own. And then at some point, you could have one of the original Ghostbusters say, like, hey, what the hell do you think you're doing with all that? You know, it was in storage for a reason. The city doesn't need us anymore.
They could have done that way.
But I think what would be really interesting is if you have this new one coming out. I think it would be interesting if it would have, like, a connection to the real Ghostbusters, and then the extreme Ghostbusters back in the 90s. Because there was two of them. There was one in the 80s, one in the 90s. Because the one in the 90s was a sequel series to the Ghostbusters show. Because that's how it worked. The two Ghostbuster movies that came out in the 80s, and then you had the Ghostbusters animated series in the 80s. Mm. That was... That whole section is canon. I looked it up. And then the Extreme Ghostbusters, or Ghostbusters Extreme, which took place in the 90s, was a sequel series to those. So I think if this movie were to have all kinds of references and Easter eggs to all of that beforehand, and some kind of a connection, that'd be really cool.
Right.
Because did you see the teaser trailer?
Mm-hmm, yeah, I saw it.
Where the it's like that shed and it's partway open and you see the car and the wind and everything. I think they should have keep the sound of the proton pack trying to start up, but also have the sound effect of like someone's trying to start the car.
Right.
Like, whoa, you see all kinds of smoke come pouring out, and the headlights come on, and it's like, oh my god, I'm ready for it. I think as long as they do it right and cast it right, I think it'll be just fine.
Yeah.
I think it'll do just fine, and that's one of the reasons why because of the 35th anniversary, but also one of the reasons why they're releasing that Ectotron figure.
All right, so now that we talked about,
Oh, that was a mouthful.
it was a mouthful. Like I'm sitting here, I'm like,
Mouthful.
okay, Chris, you know you have a lot of facts when it comes to
Movies
Ghostbusters and stuff,
and movies,
more than
yeah.
I do. Of us, like, we need to get back on track. So what we got next?
Well, we kind of talked about that already.
The Mastermind Creations.
Or no, we didn't, because this past weekend, or last weekend, was TFCon in
L.A.
LA.
Actually, I saw some of the Mastermind Creations stuff. I know they got that
They have the IDW
Guzzler,
which I'm debating if I want to get or not, because if I get it, I want that one to be like a movieverse one, and then the other one to be like an IDW one.
And then you got then also they're doing that Brawn.
That Brawn looks pretty good though.
I saw some reference photos of the Fortress Max they're gonna be working on, and their Star Convoy. That's really cool. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I got that one. I got that one. I got that one. Got that one.
I'm trying to find the new ones because they were.
Dude, Mastermind Creations is like the shit. I'm kidding.
For a third-party company, they do really good.
They do.
I'm just trying to see what. And their website is also pretty good. I mean, it's straightforward. Better yet, I'll go on Facebook and see if I can find one. Like TF.
Let's look up TFCon.
TF.
ON 2019.
TFCon 2019.
Not DC. It's LA 2019 reunion. That one.
Oh, this one.
Yep.
See if there's any
If there is.
photos.
Maybe not.
No. I'm trying to see if I can find some photos. Oh, that's a third. Well, we just want the master. We just want the masterpiece figures, or Mastermind Creations. Excuse me. Because they look really good.
Oh heck yeah!
Just seen it a while back. All the pictures they had. Is this any of them or no? That's some other
Burbank,
brand.
California. So 2019.
That's some other brand I had. Well, here, I'll tell you what. You keep talking while I look it up.
So anyway, I don't know what to talk about.
Let's talk about some of the new Marvel movies coming out.
Oh yeah.
That's on the list.
Fucking Endgame! God, I'm so ready for that. Oh my god, I can't wait till this shit goes down with fucking Thanos. Just, like they're gonna. And I like the Quantum Rumble suits. Those look really badass. I'm glad they're not giving a lot away because it just makes things so much like. Oh my god, what's going to happen? How they're Marvel's going about that right direction of people wanting more and more and more. It's like it's a constant thing. It's like just give me something other than whatever it takes, you know, give me something. But they are, oh my god, it's going to be the bomb. This movie's gonna terminate anything DC's gonna have come out this year, which is Shazam.
Yeah.
That's about it. Just Shazam.
That's about it, because once again, DC sucks ass, and Marvel is the shit.
Damn
So, and speaking of Marvel versus DC, the best news that came out this past week is that Disney announced they are going to rehire James Gunn because they finally realized it won't work without him. And I gotta say, Disney, what the fuck? You had... How much time did you really need to be like, well, should we hire him back? It's like, all you had to do was sit down with him at a table and just say, hey, what did you mean by all this stuff? What's going on? And like he said so many times before, he said, yeah, I used to make really offensive, dirty jokes in the past, in like 2009, right around the time when Twitter was first coming out. He's like, I don't do that anymore.
Right.
I'm trying to be a better person now.
Exactly.
Because of that.
And I'm pretty sure his brother knows that too, because
his brother defended him. Everyone that worked on the Guardians of the Galaxy movies defended him. The fans,
the fans wanted him back. And other news, the X-Men are back home, and the Fantastic Four.
Which I think is the only reason why Disney bought out Fox. They just said, look, we'll just buy Fox in general instead of having to pay for all the rights to these movies. Let's just buy Fox.
Well, the thing is...
That way, if Disney wants to make an adult movie, they can just give it to Fox and have it under that umbrella.
Right.
And let them take care of it.
Right, like the Deadpool. Deadpool's going to still be rated R, I think, which is awesome. I can't wait till the third Deadpool whenever it comes out, and I really hope Ryan Reynolds continues on being Deadpool for a few more years and stuff like that. But yeah, it's like, honestly, Marvel should have never lost these rights to the characters in the first place. But I know that at the beginning of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then it started with the original Fantastic Four, Daredevil, the original X-Men, they needed the money and the budget, so that's why they probably had to partner with 20th Century Fox for a lot of this. And then 20th Century Fox slaughtered X-Men. The only good things that came out of X-Men was Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, Patrick Stewart as Professor Xavier, Ian McKellen, I think, as Magneto.
Yeah, the way I see it, everything from the very first X-Men movie, which came out back in 2000, all the way up to Logan, I think those X-Men movies work. Because, again, there's two ways of looking at the X-Men movies. One way is that it's about all the X-Men heroes and villains and those characters in those movies and stories. The other hand, and I've said this before, it's always been about Logan. It's always been about Wolverine. It's been about him from the very beginning and everyone else he interacts with. Yep. But they balanced it so it's about him and everyone else, but a little bit more about him. But
I just hope when the MCU finally does the X-Men movie, like the legit X-Men movie, I hope that I know it will take a lot of convincing from Hugh, but if they have to pick someone else to be the next Wolverine.
Yeah, but he's the only one that can do it, though.
True, that is true.
He's the only one that can do it. He did say he won't do it on one condition. He'll do it on one condition only if Wolverine gets to fight with the Avengers even just once. Could you imagine him and Captain America kind of getting all uppity with each other? And, it's like, good luck trying to cut up his shield. That ain't going to work. Yeah. And it's just, I think, on the one hand, because at first I thought, well, Disney buying Fox and everything that Fox owns is weird, but then it's like, oh, wait a minute. They own some of the Marvel properties, so now Disney does, in fact, own everything Marvel now, including the rights to the X-Men movies. But the downside to this is now that Disney owns Fox, they're going to reorganize everything, and because of that, There's definitely going to be some layoffs. Don't know if it's going to be in the tens, the hundreds, or a couple thousand layoffs.
True.
That's kind of the problem with these big mergers of different companies and corporations is when that happens, they always try to figure things out, reorganize, and get reestablished. And once they figure it all out, they determine, the powers that be, unfortunately, determine who gets to stay and who gets to leave. It's like, okay, well, you got about a month left, and then after that, you're gone because we're laying you off, which is bullshit. Because you would think they would want all the help they can get. And it's not going to surprise me if years from now Disney decides to buy some other company. Think about it. They got the theme parks. They got anything and everything in the entertainment industry. They license their stuff to toy companies, but they're probably just going to buy a toy company and make the shit themselves. True. And the thing is, I think they could have their sights on either Hasbro or Mattel. But then I think Mattel makes more of the DC stuff.
Yeah, Mattel does a lot of the DC,
So I think because of that, chances are they would just
buy Hasbro, because Hasbro
it would make
does
sense.
a lot of stuff. Then
it would make sense.
Disney would buy Hasbro, then Disney would own Transformers, and then
I mean it would cut for them. On one hand, it might make sense because now they can make toys, which is part of entertainment. But on the other hand, it would be kind of difficult because there's that Transformers ride down in Universal Studios theme park. I think that park owns that ride because it's obviously on their property. So if Disney bought Hasbro, then they own Hasbro and they own Transformers. Well, then technically, I think Universal would have to be obligated to shut that ride down and get rid of it. Or pay Disney a certain fee every year, a licensing fee, to have their permission to keep the ride functioning. But I don't know if we see that happening. Maybe, maybe not. I have to wait and see how things play out.
Right.
But hopefully they'll still want to keep Family Guy going. I really hope so. It's like... But, it's like... Disney doesn't have to make Family Guy. They can just have Fox make it for them, and that would be it.
Well, at least the best thing about them owning 20th Century Fox, maybe that Fox will cancel less good TV shows.
Yeah, Fox has a really bad history of making so many shows
that are really good, and they end up canceling them.
Or they only last a year or a couple of years, and then they cancel them. They did a few shows that didn't even last like 3 or 5 episodes. That was it. They just pulled the plug. They got this. I'm not kidding. You go on Wikipedia, look up all the shows Fox had, especially in the 90s and the 2000s. There's a long list. And a lot of them didn't last that very long because they had that 70s show, which was a huge hit for them.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they were going to do a spin-off called That 80s Show. I think it lasted like maybe a couple episodes and they pulled the plug on it. Like it was that bad. Like I saw the first, I think I saw like the first 10 minutes of it one time and I'm like, this is nowhere near as funny or as good as that 70s show. Yeah. So... and now technically they own Alien vs. Predator and Alien movies and Predator movies and any other science fiction movies Fox has made.
Yep.
So I'm wondering with the Disney movies, are they just for shits and giggles going to be like, okay, here's a new Star Wars movie. We're going to show the 20th Century Fox fanfare theme first and then the Star Wars movie just like it used to be.
I have no idea.
I'll show you, because that used to be traditional. When you watch a Star Wars movie, that was like traditional. Here, this is what you would see before.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know.
That's what you would see in here, but I think that's what they could do, but they may not. I don't know.
It all depends on how they go about it. It's pretty much about what it boils down to. So let's get back to this Mastermind Creation stuff.
Yeah, okay, so found it. This is their IDW Brawn, which I think that's what it's supposed to be. That looks pretty good.
Looks alright.
And then we have the IDW Last Stand of the Wreckers.
I think the Guzzle looks a little bit better than the Brawn, if that is basically the same mold, just retooled. But
go back.
You know,
I think it looks great. It's definitely comic book accurate.
Definitely comic book accurate, yeah.
And then
that's one thing about Mastermind Creations. They try to give it that IDW style. And
I forgot they were going to release Nickel, which was a fun character in More Than Meets the Eye, and a Turbo Fox.
That actually looks really cool.
I might just get a Turbo Fox to have it go with my Tarn.
I remember, what's his name? Bishop made a Turbo Fox.
Did he really?
Yeah, it's on his Limited of Wife's Customs page. Then there's that Star Convoy.
Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. It looks better than the Takara. God, it looks awesome. Can't wait until it's painted. Holy shit.
I'm thinking Diaclone when I see this.
Diaclone.
Diaclone.
Oh, Diaclone.
I want a Diaclone. Diaclone. God. I don't know why, but I'm thinking of that joke from TKO where they were all bitching about the DX9 Omega Supreme, and there was all that water and shit in the boxes, and one of the dudes was like, No, that's all the tears from the children making this. That's rough. We give it the extra salty, the tears.
But that Star Canvas is like...
That is pretty cool looking.
Pure Japan. Pure Japan right there. It's like...
It.
Oh my god.
It's really good looking.
It's like... It looks like if that was a woman, I would fuck the shit out of it right now. I'm not even kidding.
It looks great. It looks good.
Juicy. All right.
And then another shot of the Turbo Fox with Nickel.
They're working on an entire... I think this is their part of their Ocular Max series, which is their G1 stuff. They're reformatted as their comic books and stuff. So this is their Ocular Max. And they are working on a full Bruticus without any parts forming. Like another Bruticus I have, which is the third-party KO.
So they're just slowly making a Bruticus.
Yeah, they're slow. I saw.
That one looks good.
I saw some of the prototypes down at TFCon 2018 in Chicago. So yeah.
But yeah, these figures look great. So I don't know.
They look good. Look really good.
I think I'll save myself some time and money and just ignore Nickel. And I want the Turbo Fox. And Guzzle now instead.
Well, if I get another Prime, I'm getting that Star Convoy. Alright, so with all the Mastermind stuff, what's next?
Next on the agenda, well, I figured, we gotta talk about the Bumblebee movie.
Oh, God. Alright, before you start, I don't know if you heard.
It's coming out soon on Blu-ray and 4K.
Yeah, but I don't know if you heard. They're going to close the Bayverse with the 6th Transformer movie.
So they're they're going to go back with another Bayverse movie?
They're going back with another Bayverse movie. And
apparently, because they're ended on a cliffhanger.
And apparently, that Bumblebee 2 is supposed to have a more Bayhem, according to the producer of Transformers, which doesn't give a flying fuck about them, Lorenzo De Bitchovich, whatever the fuck you want to call him.
Think of it this way. Why don't we just wait and see how things play out, and then we'll give our final quintessence verdict after it's been released?
True. Like, yes, I
don't want to read anything. Let's just wait until it comes out, and then we'll give our final verdict.
I agree that it did leave us on a cliffhanger.
Yes, and we need to finish it properly.
It should have been, I'm not going to lie, the first 3 are probably the best.
Especially the third one.
The third one's really good. And the third one should have been it. Because it had a good ending. Like after Optimus' speech, that seemed like it was it.
Well, that you can just watch the first 3, then you're done with it, or you can go the different route and keep going
True,
on. So there's
true.
a couple different ways of looking at it. You can just do the first 3 and that's it, or you just keep going with the other 2. But
Right.
the 5th one did end on a cliffhanger. I think they should properly close that film series and then keep going with
the Bumblebee
because
being
that
a
one
reboot, 'cause
is a reboot
it is
for
a
a new
reboot.
series of Transformer movies. Why? Because those movies make money. And it creates jobs and incomes so everyone can make a living. Excuse me.
Well, if they're looking for someone being a better Sam, and not a whiny Sam Wiki,
Little crybaby bitch.
you can look at me.
But no, I think if that's what they want to do, finish up the Bayverse movies properly, and then you can go back in and make a whole new storyline of Transformer movies.
True.
But I think they're also brainstorming, so I don't think anything is completely official yet. Right now, they're just kind of brainstorming, getting some ideas.
Sure.
But one of the other brainstorming ideas they did have off and on is a live-action Beast Wars spin-off
I heard about
movie,
that. Yeah.
which I'd love to see. But I'd love to see that. That'd be really cool. When they'll do that, or if they'll ever do that, I don't know.
I don't know.
Don't know. So we already covered that. We covered that. Do we want to talk about stop motions and Robot Chicken just cause?
We could talk about it for a little bit. You know, I do a lot of stop motions and stuff, and trying to work on
And they're good.
stop motion projects. Yes, they are very good. I think they're better than some of the crap I've been recently seeing. Like, there's like this guy on YouTube who has a bunch of Masterpiece and third-party figures, which he should spend a lot more time and money on stop motion animation than buying all these figures. Because I see his work, and it looks like ass. You got these amazing figures, right? These amazing, highly articulated, great-looking figures. But you're trying to put them in a stop motion story, but yet you're looking at this and you're like, this is too choppy. This looks like a freaking 10-year-old did it. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, okay. I admit
Maybe
that
it is a 10-year-old.
I admit I'm a critic about my work too when it comes to stop motions. That's why I thought the Megatron and Prime show would never take off as it did. And I didn't know, I didn't expect to, on the final episode of season 1, I didn't expect to get like almost close to 135 views. And then also the likes I got on it, I'm like, dude, season 2 is going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen. It's official. I am officially announcing it. Season 2 is going to happen.
Oh yeah.
And then
it is.
Like I don't know how many people really enjoyed that show, but I enjoy doing it because it's, for one, I have fun doing it, and two, it's just it's great and stuff. And I think the show is called, that show I was mentioning was like Transformers: The Lost Colony or something like that. So if you ever want to,
I was going to say you're not talking about Masterpiece Theater, are you?
No, it's not Masterpiece Theater. Oh, Masterpiece Theater with that one, was it Optimus Time Lord?
The one where he has the official Masterpiece figures and the third-party ones and the KOs, and he like recreates
the G1 scenes. Yes. Yes. Oh,
that dude is really good.
Like, if that guy just redid the entire series with nothing but.
Oh, I'd watch the shit out of that.
Like,
but that'd be a challenge, though.
It would be, because especially everything is all superimposed on the animation models.
Yeah, but he's really good at it, though.
He is really good.
Even though he's only got like a handful of videos, they're still really good. But yeah, I don't know. I think.
And then Robot Chicken,
I've got seasons 1 through 7, a couple of the specials on DVD and Blu-ray, and season 8 and 9 is on Amazon Prime. But here's what I don't get is, if they were doing good on DVD and Blu-ray, I don't know why they switched over to only being able to get them on Amazon. Because I love having them on DVD and Blu-ray physically in your hands. You put it in the player, but I guess having them on Amazon Prime Video is okay too.
True.
it's just I like having a physical disc because you get your show, your movie, and you get all kinds of other stuff that comes with it.
Right.
And Robot Chicken was really good with their DVD sets and Blu-ray discs.
Right.
But shout out to Robot Chicken for all the Transformers skits and Marvel skits they did.
I want to see him do a Transformers special so bad, because you got these transforming robots and you can do anything with them. You know. It's like
one of the first couple of seasons of Robot Chicken. I listened to it with the audio commentary, and excuse me, someone asked Seth Green, the creator of the show, he asked him, "Hey, what type of Optimus Prime is that?" And without skipping a beat, Seth was like, "That is the Takara Masterpiece scale."
MP-01.
The MP-01 from the very first time it came out.
Yep.
So, for those of you that don't know, Seth Green knows his toys, and he's very knowledgeable of, TV shows and movies from the 80s and 90s, and he knew right off the bat which one it was, and which ones, because sometimes in the show they'll use the original toy, or a modified version of the toy, or a custom-built figure just for the skit or whatever it is they need. But yes, if you watch, they have actually used Masterpiece Optimus Primes and Megatrons and etc.
Oh yeah.
And some of the skits they did, like there was one where it was a kid buys a scooter for his first car, and it was a GoBot. And the mechanic is just brutally. He's just like for him it's just an ordinary everyday thing at work, nothing new. And he's like, "Oh, where are you going?" And as he's working on this scooter that is a GoBot, he's just asking the kid, be like, "Oh yeah, like where are you gonna go to college for?" "Oh, that's a good girl," blah blah blah. He's just casually having a conversation, and in the background it's just being it's just like screaming bloody murder. And he takes the face off and just throws it in like a bucket of that looks like piss or something. And it's like, "Oh, it's so much better now. Thanks." And
he's like, "Do you want the face? Do you want the face?" Like, nah, just throw it away. Like, okay, all right, 2 points. And you just see this GoBot face, just like. I don't remember. Was it smiling too?
It was like smiling and crying at the same time. Like, oh my god!
Some of their GoBot skits are hilarious,
because in a nutshell, it shows how much they fucking sucked, and it's the truth. They really did suck.
GoBots,
even the cartoons sucked. It just wasn't that great.
The GoBots. I don't know how.
I think it's hilarious now that IDW has GoBot comic books coming out, and they're still doing Transformers. It's like a weird relationship.
I remember that I was reading this one comic. It was pretty much Megatron's origin story of how he became started as a miner, then a gladiator, and then the leader of the Decepticons. There's this one part in the comic where he's killing Psykill.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you see this energon blade going like through his chest, and his mouth is open. Like I think it had like little
blood and shit.
Energon coming out of his mouth, and screaming. And Megatron's like, "Yeah, you're fucking dead, bitch. I just killed your ass."
I gotta see this.
Oh my god.
Megatron kills
Psykill.
Oh wait. Megatron kills Psykill. This was an actual. Is it that?
Yep, that right there.
Oh fuck yeah!
You see Megatron with all the fucking war paint on him. It's just like, yeah, you're dead.
I love this so much.
That was a great story too. It was so good. I think that was their dream. I think that was Dreamwave Productions too when they did that.
Was this a Dreamwave comic?
I think it was a Dreamwave comic if I remember correctly. But it was so good.
I should post this on the DairyCon page and see how salty people will get.
It's like it was so good because
it's like a great big fuck you.
Megatron was like literally a god in that comic, and he killed
He did everybody a favor.
He killed he fucked so many people up. I think this is when Rat Bat became Rat Bat, where he actually became a cassette, because in the comic,
God,
Ratbat
I
was a
love this.
senator on Cybertron.
Yes, he was.
And
he
then
was a senator.
I think Soundwave took his spark out, had a cassette, and merged the spark with the cassette, and that's how Ratbat was born.
This picture is.
God.
I'm just gonna. You know what? I'm gonna save this picture, and I'm gonna post it on the DairyCon page and see if anyone gets really salty about it. I'm gonna be like JC. So that is one of the best pictures I've ever seen.
Comic was a great read though. Like, God.
I remember the Dreamwave comics. There was only one I liked. It was like a graphic novel. It was. I remember. I don't think I have it, but it was really good. And
Like, if you wanted to see something gritty, that was the comic to see some fucking grit. Like, God, Megatron just destroyed everybody.
here we go. Everyone's gonna get salty now. Just bleh.
Oh hell yeah, that's beastly.
Fuck the GoBots. Fuck them. I should put that on Twitter too. Like, fuck GoBots. I really want to do is just go on eBay and just buy a bunch of shitty GoBots and line them up and use them for target practice. But the gun I use has to have Transformers logo on it.
Oh hell yes.
And each bullet
God.
has to have an Autobot or Decepticon symbol imprinted on it. And then it says, hello.
Get like an AR, just go 5.56 full mag.
Yeah. There's got to be like a sniper rifle. And you got
50
practice.
cal. There'd be nothing left. You just see this
It's just
like
melted.
just like poof. Well, at least now I have room in my collection now. Oh my gosh.
I feel bad for anyone that grew up in the 80s and early 90s and their parents could only find or get them GoBots. That either meant they were that bad, or they were that poor, or they were that dumb that they couldn't tell the difference. It's like, dude, you can even watch the toys that made us.
Yeah.
And in the Transformers episode, everyone said Transformers beat them out of the water.
It was Tonka's attempt at Transformers.
They were owned by Tonka at one point in time, and then because GoBots did good first, but then it was like as soon as it did good, it went really shitty because Transformers came out the last second, just in time.
Right.
And all the kids saw how much better these ones were and how much bigger they are. Yeah. And they wanted the Transformers instead. And after that, the sales skyrocketed.
They didn't look half-assed or goofy looking either.
No.
Like, you have this, I think one GoBot, had this huge, massive head. And you look at G1 Soundwave, oh, there's a head. There's arms and there's legs. It doesn't look so ridiculous, No. Oh, it turns into a cassette player, but okay, cool. It's like...
Yeah, again, GoBots suck. I'm glad I found that picture. I'm glad I posted on DairyCon. We'll wait and see how salty people get.
I don't know how that goes.
Oh boy, thank you, JC. So, I just thought of this because we pretty much covered
the entire episode in an hour.
Yeah, we covered
everything pretty much.
Everything. I want to save that stuff for the next episode.
Episode 5 is Crossing Peeners.
Well, I don't know. I was thinking about changing it. But the next episode will be Crossing Peeners in honor of JC. So, I just thought of this to give us a little more time for our show. Maybe I can, if he's awake.
I can try to call James.
Yeah.
See if he picks up.
Try to call. He might not answer. I don't know.
Nah, it's all good.
Because I forgot to tell him. We were going to do our show today and have him on. We got to have him on as Bill Cosby.
We could have him on as Bill. Bill next episode 5.
Yeah.
I'm trying to butter up the wife Camille. so I could get some actual food in this joint. There's not a puddling pop that's been shoved up my butthole to sleep.
Oh, James, we love you.
Yep.
But
all right, but other words. I think
this was kind of a short
It
episode.
was pretty short. Yeah, definitely, and definitely. You know, I don't know what else you got going on today, but I'm gonna try to take care of some shit myself, and then.
Yeah, I gotta do dishes. I gotta shave and clean up and laundry. And man, this adulting shit sucks. You know what? I just want to work on my customs, and this is one of my other projects I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to make one of these, America, and one of these bad boys.
Yeah, that's one thing we forgot is about our things we got this month, and my thing I got.
Yeah,
this
what'd you
month
get? I
is
got these
at home. I got Ultra Magnus, MP scale, which is unofficial. It's a cancer cancer.
Did you see the trailer for Stranger Things season 3?
Yes, I saw that.
For the
I'm
motorized
like,
Ultra Magnus.
That's Ultra Magnus. What the hell is he doing?
I'm
then
like, did they actually make one?
I don't know. I think because I know that 11 has some sort of like mental
Power
abilities and stuff like
But
that.
I don't remember
Motorized
reading or
Ultra
seeing
Magnus,
one. I think they may have just did that for the show.
Yeah.
And I read that on TFW, and in the description it said, "Well, we can still forgive them for the fact that they misplaced Ultra Magnus's missiles on his shoulders." I'm like, could have fooled me because I didn't see it because I wasn't looking for that one thing. I was looking for the whole trailer. So yeah, Stranger Things season 3 comes out this July.
Which I have to watch season 1 and 2.
You gotta watch it. It's great. It's a great show, and a great way to pay tribute to anything and everything in the 80s.
Yeah.
And they're gonna, after season 3, they got one more season, and then they're gonna be done with it because they figured that it would just be 4 seasons and then they're done. And it's a great way to just sit there and binge watch because it really sucks you in.
I have to watch so many shows.
I took a sick day just to watch that. I thought just this once I'll take a sick day, but coincidentally I actually woke up with a bad migraine that morning. I took some medicine, went back to sleep. A couple hours later, I got up, watched the show, and that was it. So,
Nice.
but
Well,
I think now we're finally done.
Yeah, that's it. We got what we got for this month. We'll be back next month, probably after Dairy Con.
Well, I know you can't go because you gotta go to training. I'm just gonna go for the day, and when we do our next episode, we'll do a review and talk about some other things.
Which reminds me,
Don't forget the links to TKO for episode 70, 71, 72, and 73, and a new episode will be coming out either tonight or tomorrow night. So check out those episodes. Get caught up if you have to. Shout out to the TKO guys, and shout out to
those
Dairy Con.
Shout out to Dairy Con, TF Con.
Shout out to Shapeways. They're
Shapeways.
printing a bunch of stuff for me right now.
Shout out to J Dog's Videos and More to be able to produce this bullshit we do every month. So be sure to subscribe. Check out those links.
Yep. Check out TKO previous episodes.
If you can't afford it, KO it.
That's a good idea. Should tell JL that one. Should tell JL that one.
That was good. All right. Well, thanks for watching.
Sounds like something he would say.
Well, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the flip side.
Thanks for joining us.